Copycat talks about the vulnerability of two living beings that meet and open up despite their wounds. It talks about how a home is made, how a bond is born, and how trust flourishes when one opens up one's heart. It shows us that love is born from caring and nurturing, and its signature can be felt in the freedom of accepting us as we are every day. It also allows us to feel empathy towards someone else's wishes and pain, and invites us to choose our own path or dare to walk a new one. Upon watching the first couple of scenes in the game, a sweet and familiar place surrounds us, and it contrasts with a slight sadness. It exposes us to the life of two lonely beings in need of a shelter, salvation, and a friend. It also shows us a new beginning, a connection that wishes to last forever, along the promise of new adventures. In the game, we experience what it means to arrive to an unknown place and discover a world that isn't our own. A wild rhythm with its sweet note soundtrack that seems to evoke the nature of the characters it's heard. The thoughts of our cat float in the air, full of freshness and spontaneity, sometimes deep, other times irreverent, and even sometimes funny, but always true to its personality. Despite the clouds that darken our owner, we look at the world and play, practice to never forget our essence. Sometimes everything feels familiar and warm, as if it were our own home, our routines, our everyday moments. A painting, a gift, reminds us of human nature that attempts to immortalize affections, or maybe forget them, while in the other side of the room, a succulent meat on the table seduces our senses in a more raw and spontaneous way. At all moments, we are two beings in one. I find it interesting how the game allows us to look through both contrasting perspectives. One seeks company, the other longs for freedom. One needs comprehension, the other senses a way out. One fights against time, the other against its own distrust. One appears to have surrendered to the inevitable, the other contemplates its possibilities. One seeks for a replacement, the other seeks itself. One thing is true though, both seek to be free and need the warmth of a true home, despite not knowing exactly what it means. The crossroad and ambivalence that one experiences while not knowing how to feel is very clear when the playing of one becomes the tragedy of the other. The game dips us in an extraordinary empathy and at the same time puts us in the middle of accepting what we are, without the fear of stop being loved because of it. As of now, we can choose to adapt, comprehend both sides, and decide if we wish to continue with this bond. With a mixture of harshness and tenderness, Copycat tells us about the beauty of being and to let be. Allows us to get involved in a connection as incomprehensible as it is necessary, as deep as loving, and as wild as human. It poses deep questions that require answers. Should we be true to what we are, or embrace transformation? What compels us to stay in some place despite what our instincts dictate? What invites us to live despite being needed? What is love? What does family mean? Where does freedom reside? I believe that art is capable of transforming our vision of the world. To me, Copycat transfers the connection of its characters to my own experience, reminding me the meaning of love, care, trust, and deep appreciation of another being. This video game has allowed me to comprehend that love is a balance between being present while granting freedom to be, dream, play, stay or leave, keeping company to someone else in every choice they make, while being faithful to what our heart dictates. To me, this is the story of a friendship, of two souls that grow together, and a bond so strong that will last a lifetime.